Coming in at number 10, we have the Chimbu skeleton tribe. One look at this tribe sends shivers down my spine, and if I saw them in the flesh, I would very much want to run away. It seems that the Chimbu tribe dress this way for special festivals, including the Mount Hagen Festival. The paint was originally designed to psychologically intimidate enemies, and also to present themselves as superhuman. The tribe live in a remote mountainous region of Papua New Guinea and first made contact with the connected world in 1934, although they do remain elusive, and to be honest, painted like that, I wouldn't want to run into them. I wouldn't want to mess with them. Coming in at number 9, we have the Asaro tribe. Have a look at the Asaro tribe. Usually, I wouldn't say you should ever judge people by the way they look, but when it comes to tribes, I would say, actually, if they look threatening, that's because they want to scare you. They want to scare you off, and maybe you should be scared off. What happens if you don't heed that warning? Do you really want to find out? The Asaro tribe are also known as the Asaro Mudmen because of their masks, which are made from mud. They're also hella spooky. The story behind the mud is that one time they approached an enemy after hiding out in a muddy bank. The enemy thought that they were spirits and fled. Would you like to see them in action? Actually pretty harmless, but their masks do make me worry. Coming in at number 8, we have the Chukchi people. The reason this tribe are on this list is because they are the only tribe in Russia that were never conquered by the Russian people, which actually must mean that they're pretty terrifying and hardcore. Historically, Russia has waged war with the Chukchi people on many occasions over hundreds of years. While some of the tribe's people were killed, they were never actually defeated. These days, they live reasonably undisturbed in the Chukchi Peninsula. This is at the very north of Russia, parallel to the top of Alaska. It is cold up there. These people survive in those climates 24/7, and to be honest, to me, that makes them pretty hardcore and not to be crossed. A ghost at number 7, we have the Night Marchers. I really enjoy this, something different for this list. Often called the Night Marchers, the Hawakapo are ancient Hawaiian warriors that now are jobbed with escorting newly dead spirits into the afterlife. These are a more musical band of Grim Reapers. The Hawakapo are also known as torchbearers, and they walk across the land carrying, you guessed it, torches, but also weapons and drums which they play and chant. There have been sightings of these ghostly torchbearers, but if you ever come across one, you must not look them in the eye, as they may mistakenly class you as someone who needs to be marched into the afterlife. That is, unless one of your relatives is in the tribe who can vouch for you. It's rules. Those are the rules. You know that the Hawakapo are nearby if you hear distant drumming in Hawaii, if you hear conch shell horns, see faint torchlight, and smell faint foul odors. Rumours and reports of torchbearer sightings have been rife over the years and are absolutely ingrained in Hawaiian folklore. Unless you want to be marched down into heaven or hell or wherever they're going, I would say stay away from the tribe. Coming in at number 6, we have the Korubo or the Dasala tribe. The Korubo, also known as the Dasala tribe, are well known for their big clubs, as in big sticks. The Korubo are one of the most isolated tribes in the world, and they do not want to be contacted. The tribe are visually scary to look at. They paint themselves with red dye made from the Ruko plant. The tribe lives in the western Amazon basin and regularly have clashes with other local tribes. They use their clubs to beat people to death. They're also fond of the humble poison dart. The tribe are hostile to outsiders, and in recent history they have beat to death 3 loggers and workers from Funai, a Brazilian government initiative to protect indigenous tribes. Coming into number 5, we have the Surma tribe. The Surma live in the Bench Magi zone of the southern nations, nationalities and peoples regions of Ethiopia. The tribe are particularly scary and dangerous, especially if you're an outsider like us, because instead of clubs, spears or darts, the bands have automatic guns. Yikes. Guns aside for the moment, the tribe do have a tradition of beating one another with sticks as a rite of passage before they can officially become a man, so as you can gather, the Surma don't shy away from violence. While the Surma do have guns and are hostile to outsiders, there aren't actually any reported incidents of them shooting anyone, so I guess while things may seem barbaric to us, who are we to judge them? They probably just want to do their own tribe business and let us leave them alone. Coming in at number 4, we have the Angori sect. The Angori sect are infamous for their morbid worship practices. Now, they use a corpse during their rituals, and they often threaten to eat people. Have a watch of a CNN reporter interacting with them. Honestly, this freaked me out. Can you imagine being in this situation?
People on that side of the river are so afraid of the Agori.
That's right, he actually said that. I'd be terrified. The reporter then starts asking questions which are not met with a happy response. Have a listen.
Why do
Wow! I absolutely think I'd be bricking it. The sect are very secretive and they generally shy away from interactions with others, and honestly, that's enough to make me want to stay away from them. Okay, next up, not 100% a tribe, but like a terrifying story and a terrifying jungle gang in Papua New Guinea. At number 3, we have the cargo cult. This is such a scary story. This story starts with Stephen Tarry, a man who gathered thousands of disciples in Papua New Guinea. He lured them into the jungle and encouraged them to be part of his sect. The man wore white robes and preached his own gospel while standing on a rock and calling himself, and I quote, Black Jesus. The cult lived in the jungle much like a tribe, and Tari was their leader. He would regularly lead ritual human sacrifice, which is repugnant. On one occasion, he slaughtered a virgin he called his flower girl and encouraged his following to drink her blood. One mother testified that she was made to drink her own daughter's blood. Now it seems that the tribe-like cult turned against him, and actually the leader was murdered himself in 2013. I guess he got what was coming to him. Okay, at number 2, I've put a tribe you've probably heard of. I'm saving one at number 1 that you might not have heard of. Getting a lot of press, we have the Sentinelese tribe. So you may have heard of this tribe in regards to the recent murder of John Allen Chow. He was a 26-year-old American missionary who was sent by the All Nations group to make contact and live with amongst the tribe. Basically, they were hoping to convert them to Christianity, which really wasn't a good idea because they killed him. This is the theme with people who come too close to this tribe. Now the North Centennial Island is amid the Indian Ocean and has been home to the tribe for around 60,000 years. Until recently, the tribe has only been spotted through far-off images. But people keep getting closer and closer to them these days, and they don't like it. They've been known to fire arrows at low-flying planes. It's hard to contact a tribe who have literally no interest in communication, but most of those who have tried just haven't lived to tell the tale. Some have met their fury by accident. For example, in 2006, 2 fishermen who were illegally harvesting crabs were killed by the tribe. Now Chow, the missionary, is the most recent victim. He kept a journal of his attempts to contact the tribe, and he sang songs and offered them the Bible, but actually, instead, they shot and pierced the holy book with an arrow. I think this should have been a warning to him, but he persisted to no avail and was met with a mixture of laughter and hostility. In the end, it all got too much for the tribe, who decided to kill him. He was last seen by the crew who went with him on the adventure. He was dragged away. They said they saw him dragged away and killed, and they saw his lifeless body spotted on the shore. Gnarly. Finally, coming into number 1, we have the Korowai tribe. The Korowai tribe are one of the most feared tribes in the world. They were only discovered in 1974, and since then, encounters have been very limited. The tribe are based in Papua New Guinea, and they are known to live in trees as to have a height advantage when intruders come into their space. They are known to shoot arrows at any trespassers, and they believe that white people are actually possessed by ghosts or demons. So obviously, as a white person wandering into this tribe, you can imagine what might happen to you. It is actually thought that the Korowai tribe killed Michael Rockefeller, who disappeared after attempting contact in the 1960s. Some reports say that his body was seen amid the tribe on a beach. Now, in 2014, Australian journalist Paul Raphael visited the tribe and discovered that they do still very much eat people. That's right, they cannibalize the body of people who die under mysterious circumstances. Why? Because they think that they've been possessed by a kakua. A kakua basically is a bad spirit. The logic is they must eat the kakua as the kakua ate the person who died. It's an act of revenge. Everything is eaten by the tribe except the hair, nails, and penis. Do you want to stumble across this tribe? Rather you than me.
Number 10. This is a spirit that protects the Amazon rainforest, but this isn't a good spirit, it is an evil one. Those who believe in this legend say that the spirit is a combination of all the people who have died in the Amazon. I mean, this story got pretty morbid really fast. It is believed that this evil spirit attracts its victims by making a pleasant whistling sound. Apparently, if you hear this tune, you feel almost compelled to whistle back. But be aware, because once you repeat the tune, the creepy spirit will take hold of you. So yeah, I'm not going to repeat the whistle, but now, according to this legend, if you are kind to the forest and animals, the El Tunshi will spare you. but if you are disrespectful to the forest and have a large carbon footprint, the odds of you making out of the forest alive are slim to none. Candy mixed with drugs rolls onto this list at number 9. This urban legend made people believe that vendors who sell chocolate and candies injected their products with cocaine and sold them to nearby schools so that the kids would become addicted to them and want to buy more. Honestly, they didn't need to inject candy and chocolate with cocaine. I'm pretty sure kids are already addicted to this stuff. Well, as it turns out, this might not have only been an urban legend because something very similar to this story happened in Rio de Janeiro for real. In the 1980s, Van Mel candies were confiscated and shut down because their products contained drugs inside of them. But the reasoning for this wasn't to get kids addicted to their product, they wanted to sabotage their competition. The Bagman stuffs himself in at number 8. This urban legend is about a man who kidnaps children with a bag if you are alone or if they are not close enough to their parents. In Brazil, he is known as the Homem do Saco, and people believe that he carries a sack with him that is full of naughty and disobedient kids. His goal is to collect a bunch of children so that he can sell them on the black market, or he can just eat them. But either way, if he kidnapped your kid, you would never see them again. This sounds scary, but you know, it kind of sounds like it was created by parents who were annoyed with their kids running off without their permission. So in order to keep them close, they made up this scary bagman. If I was told this as a kid, I for sure would not leave my parents' side. Even if I'm like 30 years old, I would still be like, hey dad, where are you going? Don't leave me. I'm still a kid, like I'm still a kid to you. I don't want the bagman coming. So, you know what? I guess this urban legend is highly effective. Because I'm wondering where my parents are right now. The woman in your nightmares haunts us in at number 7. So in Brazil, there's a story about a tall, skinny woman with long yellow fingernails and red eyes named the Piscidaria who lurks on your rooftops and watches families inside of their homes. Apparently she likes to watch families as they eat their dinner, and after their meal, when someone decides to go to bed, she will sneak into the room and sit on their chest. She puts all of her weight on the person's chest so that they cannot move and they have a hard time breathing. The Piscidaria enjoys watching her victims panic and gasp for air. It is also said that the real reason behind sleep paralysis is because of the Piscidaria. Because many people who suffer from sleep paralysis say that they feel an evil force is hovering over them and preventing them from moving. I can honestly say to you guys that I've experienced something like this. I've had situations where I wake up and I just cannot move my body. I've never experienced the not breathing part of it because that would be horrifying, but I've definitely had situations where I'm awake and I can't move. And I'm not even from Brazil, so maybe this folklore has traveled all the way up here to Canada. Let me know if you guys experience anything like this in the comment section below. Up next, number 6, we have a Loita do Banheiro. I know this name seems like a lot, but when you translate it, it literally means the blonde in the bathroom. I know the name doesn't sound scary, but this is Brazil's version of Bloody Mary. If you want to summon her, you will have to go to the last stall in the bathroom, kick the door, and flush the toilet 3 times, turn the tap on and off 3 times, and say the curse words out loud 3 times. I mean, in Brazil, they really make you work for this. I'm pretty sure all you have to do is turn off the lights, go in front of the mirror in the bathroom, and say Bloody Mary 3 times. I've done it when I was a kid. And let's not talk about it. Well, once you summon Bloody Mary, a beautiful girl with long hair appears, but her skin is all cut up. She's just full of blood, and she has cotton stuffed in her nose and her mouth. Blood is also pouring out of her body, and she will stare at you from the mirror with an empty expression. I'm not sure if this is my idea of a good time. I would rather not summon a bloody demon girl to a bathroom. Apparently a lot of young students play this game in their schools, and now a bunch of Brazilian schools are haunted by a Loto do Banheiro. The Crying Children makes its way onto this list at number 5. In the 1970s through the 1980s, an Italian painter named Giovanni Bragolin made several paintings of children crying, and this became a very popular craze from around the world. Everyone wanted to get their hands on these paintings. Why? I'm actually not sure why. I would think this painting of a crying child would be sad, but the 70s and 80s, it was a different time. However, rumors started to spread that the artist made a deal with the devil, and because of this, all of his paintings are cursed. There have been several unexplained fires in the homes of people who have purchased these paintings, and it is said that if you take these paintings and you turn one upside down, you will actually see a demonic hand clutching the child's neck. Yeah, no thanks. I'll stick to my happy paintings of rainbows and puppies. And yeah, I'd still be too afraid to turn that one upside down too. The Scary Clown Gang sneaks into this list at number 4. You might be surprised to hear this, but actually the urban legend of a scary person in a white van is a very popular myth from around the world. Even where I grew up, we had an urban legend about a predator who would drive up and down the neighborhood streets in their white van looking for innocent children to kidnap. Why they're doing this, I have no idea. Everyone knows about white vans. Why don't they just start with like blue van, more hidden or something? And am I encouraging this? It's just, my question is, why is it always a white van? Well, Brazil took this urban legend to the next level, adding clowns. So now you got white vans with clowns inside. Many people in Brazil believed that there was a group of killer clowns who would drive in these unmarked white vans looking for kids to kidnap. They would lure and trick them into coming into their van because they looked like friendly clowns. But really, their intention was to kill the kids and sell their organs on the black market. I mean, is this real life right now? Okay, seriously though. Who comes up with these scary urban legends? Because this one's freaking me out right now. I feel bad for people who drive a white van because now everyone is scared and gets goosebumps every time you drive by them. Became very paranoid, and they were so scared they were too terrified to leave their house. Even though this may seem real, there aren't any real life cases of people being pricked with these needles, so it just goes to show you how powerful an urban legend can be. The faux foul doll scares us in at number 1, especially it scares me. Guys, I'm serious when I say this is the creepiest doll I've ever seen. You don't believe me? Well, take a look for yourself. Okay, I mean, Annabelle has nothing on this scary, sadistic looking doll. I think I'm even gonna have nightmares about this awful looking thing. Why do I keep researching urban legends? It freaks me out. But anyways, the faux foul doll is based on a TV character from the Brazilian TV show Magic Balloon. This popular children's TV show aired in the 1980s, and this character became so successful that it gained its own TV show. Fofão in Portuguese means fluffy, but I think we should rename him to ugly and creepy. Even though I find him terrifying back in the 80s, kids actually loved him. But this all changed when he started to be compared to Chucky from that horror movie where the Chucky doll is possessed and kills people. The rumor started to spread that Fulfau is the real life killer doll, and according to the legend, it is believed that if you open up your Fulfau doll, you will see a black knife hidden inside. I mean, whoa, just when you thought the Fulfau couldn't get scary.
At number 10, we have the animals are going to die. Yeah, I'm gonna be super blunt with this one. If we lose the rainforest, a bunch of animals are gonna die, and you can say goodbye to biodiversity. There's over 10% of the world's species living in the rainforest. That's a lot, bro. Imagine you're at a party with 100 people, and then 10 of those people catch on fire because everyone else at the party was too careless. The party would suck after that. It's hard to keep a good time going when 10 people burn to death right in front of you. And many of these animals can't just be taken out of the rainforest and then put into a zoo. First of all, zoos are cruel and we should shut all of them down, but these animals need a complex environment that is the rainforest. Without that, they can't survive. Like, you can't just take a person from Chicago and then put them with a bunch of monks to live in the mountains. They wouldn't know the language or what any of the local sports teams would be. It would be traumatizing. At number 9, we have medicine. Because the Amazon has so many different things living inside of it, it has offered us the ability to experiment with some substances that are unique to that area. And some of the stuff that we pull out of the massive jungle could be used to make medicines to cure all sorts of diseases. The key to stopping hangovers could be locked away in the lush green. Imagine you could party all night and then wake up the next day feeling like you got a full 8 hours, even though you only slept for 20 minutes on your buddy's couch before you had to go to work. Whoever made that discovery would be a hero. It's estimated that up to 1/4 of the world's base source of modern medicine would be lost if we lose the Amazon. Like, imagine you're at a party with 100 people and 25 of them catch on fire. Now this party for sure sucks, and someone please call 911. At number 8, we have war. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. But if we don't stop burning down the Amazon, people are probably gonna go to war. That's gonna be on the Billboard Top 100 by the end of the week, no doubt about it. Well, if we keep turning a bunch of trees into ash, it's going to have an effect on food supply, air quality, and as we mentioned before, medicine for a lot of people. What happens when people run out of food, clean water, clean air, and can't get any aspirin? Well, they're gonna get pretty cranky and very desperate. And when you have a bunch of cranky, desperate people who haven't eaten in a long time, you're probably gonna have an all-out war. Doing this much damage to the environment is going to have a drastic effect on people's lives. At number 7, we have loss of money. I mean, if there's one way we can try to convince these massive companies to stop tearing down trees, it's definitely with even more green. The main reason that the rainforest is being torn down is because the land is converted for commercial use. These big companies come through with big, ugly trucks and rip out all the beautiful natural foliage so they can repurpose the land for rubber trees, palm oil trees, and even grazing areas. I would hate to see what their homes look like. I'm sure they suck at decorating. They probably took out all the natural light and then replaced it with neon frame pictures of their own. But these companies don't realize that in the long run, they are making way less money. It's thought that in the pharmaceutical industry alone, the rainforest is worth about $150 billion. The global rubber industry, even including everything outside of the rainforest, is only worth $26 billion. And the palm oil industry, even including all the stuff outside the rainforest, is only worth $60 billion. The money gain doesn't even come close to the amount of money that's being lost. Y'all are just being stupid, man. You gotta think about long-term growth. At number 6, we have climate change. Yeah, we already talked about this in the intro, but it's kind of a big deal, so I'm going to talk about it again. If we burn down the whole Amazon, climate change is going to get worse, and then the flood will kill us all, or lack of food, or cannibals. Any of them, really. Now, part of me thinks that the government has a carbon gun hidden away in Area 51 that can suck all the carbon out of the air and save the planet in like 20 minutes, and that this whole climate change thing is just something to distract us from the fact that the Clintons are so powerful they can kill anyone at any time. But I'm not willing to bet all my chips on that just yet. For now, I'm gonna hope that not burning down the Amazon will save us. And it can. The Amazon is a carbon sink, which means it sucks a bunch of carbon out of the air. The thing is a giant scrub brush for the atmosphere. 40% of the world's carbon is absorbed by the world's forests. That's a lot. Imagine you're at a party with 100 people, and then 40 of the people there are actively working to shrink their carbon footprint. That would be a pretty woke party. At number 5, we have displacement of indigenous people. This is probably one of the saddest parts about this whole list. There are people who have made the Amazon their home for centuries, and if it burns down, where are they supposed to go? That is their land, and they've made a life that isn't so easily changed. You don't go from living in a tribe in the Amazon hunting with a bow and arrow to working at Walmart and putting money into a tax-free savings account. There's a lot of people who rely on the rainforest to survive. Around 31 million people either live in or off the Amazon. The people who live in these areas need the land to live. They need the areas for food, and for some of them they haven't been exposed to outside communities. Because most of us are filthy animals and carry a bunch of diseases, we have way more bacteria on us than any of these tribes have ever seen. So when these indigenous people come in contact with us, sometimes they can die just from the exposure to these new diseases. They don't have a natural immunity to them. There's not vaccines in the deep dark corners of the rainforest. At number 4 we have major damage to the ocean. If we actually don't stop the horrific act of burning down the rainforest like joints at a party, the carbon levels are going to skyrocket, which we kind of already covered, but this won't just affect the atmosphere. Some of the carbon will get absorbed into the ocean, which means the ocean will become more acidic. If you don't know what that means, don't feel bad. The only reason I know what it means is because I had to look it up for this video. Now if the ocean becomes more acidic, then most of the animals can't live in there. We're gonna see a mass extinction of sea life. Some stuff will be able to survive, but so many fish are gonna die a horrible death of swimming in an ocean that's too acidic. If a ton of fish die out of nowhere, well, it's probably gonna lead to famine and every good fish and chip restaurant closing. That means no more sushi, no more oyster bars, no more Red Lobster. Well, I mean, Red Lobster could stay open on the Cheddar Bay biscuit alone. Every time I go, I eat like 15 of them, even though they clog my colon up like concrete in a drain pipe. But if we destroy the rainforest, say goodbye to seafood. At number 3, we have erosion. So if the Amazon gets destroyed, there's now going to be a massive plot of land that used to be held together by vegetation. Now that all that vegetation is gone and all that land is loose, like your stool after Taco Bell, and what does loose stool do? It flows, baby. Oh, it flows fast. And that's what that loose stool land is going to do. This will cause mudslides and a whole bunch of other natural disasters. On top of that, the rainforest is what fertilizes the soil. So all that flowing earth will be unfertilized. And then when it smashes into farmland, it will make that soil unusable. Basically another situation that leads to massive famine where we all become cannibals and eat our friends. Number 2, we have evapotranspiration. A big word for my little brain. What the hell is evapotranspiration, you may ask? Well, it's when plants give off vapor from their leaves in the process of photosynthesis. This goes up into the atmosphere and makes clouds, and then it comes back down as rain. The whole thing is the circle of life. But you may think that it's not a big deal. How much water vapor comes off of plants and gets turned into clouds? Well, a lot. An acre of corn can produce 4,000 gallons of water vapor a day, and somewhere between 10 to 15% of water vapor in the atmosphere comes from plants. And this will stretch super far. The decrease in rainfall will stretch as far as the Sierra Nevada, and areas between the Amazon will be seeing a decline of 50% in rainfall. Areas like California have already seen the effects of deforestation in the form of drought, which leads to massive fires. So not only will we all be cannibals, but everything will be on fire. And number 1 on our list, it won't come back. This isn't something you can just fix by planting seeds. The whole thing would be gone for good. The Amazon rainforest is a delicate ecosystem that was formed 56 million years ago when the world was hot enough to create rainforests. So the conditions that it takes to create a beautiful ecosystem like that are gone. And we already covered how the soil would be crap, the rain would be gone, the plants and animals would all be dead. The rainforest would all be gone. So we get one shot at saving this thing, guys. Let's try to do it right.